I can see where he's coming from.
Yes, aye.
I think colours are better generalists. They never say it's bad ice, they just say it's tricky.
No. Some of them will tell us we have bad ice. That's definitely happened previously. They may well have had a point, but it's definitely happened.
Yellow coming down the right hand side here. Just a check on that blue would do them, wouldn't it? Or even just a tap back maybe.
We 3/4 stone check just to make sure the blue can go left. I think that's pretty good. It's slightly heavy, rubs off it. And see if that had have overlapped, you could have a blue that way. Yeah, the blue goes out the house, the yellow stays put. Just fine margins. Could be quite a long game if the stones aren't quite in the right place for you, or just, as you said before, Kenny, it's one big hit and everything disappears all of a sudden.
I thought the angles are there, just a clear out.
Can be a tad frustrating.
Have both teams been at Dumfries before? The Estonians definitely have. I can remember them from previous years.
Yeah, Estonians definitely have. I'm fairly sure the Hungarians have as well. 2 Hungarian teams this weekend.
It's usually the other team that's.
It is, yeah.
Competition.
You're right. We've got Swiss teams. Estonian, Hungarians we're watching just now. Scottish, English. I think that's us. German teams as well.
That was a German team, yeah.
Got Switzerland. Sweden. We've missed Sweden. A few teams from Sweden actually. 3?
Yes.
Something like 2.
So we're left with 2 of the top ranked teams in UK. English champions and actual runners up in the Scottish Championship this year, Jane and Fraser.
Yep, we had all 3 top Scottish teams. Unfortunately, Gene Aitken and Scott Andrews didn't make it out their group. They got knocked out in Draw Shot Challenge as well, actually. Tough way to go. 2-3 record, I think, was the stats on that.
I think they got off to quite a bad start. I think they lost their first 2 games.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kenny. Yeah, I think you're right. The game gets rid of the back blue, but would quite like the shooter just to have stuck around in front of the blue stone.
So they'll be Gina and Scott will be heading off to the Worlds shortly. Scotland's representatives.
Yep, you're right. Not quite sure. It must be mid-April, is it?
That'll be after the men's.
Men start
next
weekend. It's getting quite difficult to keep track of at Dumfries, all the players that are playing in these competitions. Kenny, you're good at that. You can give us a run through of this season's. We'll apologise now if we miss anybody.
Where do we start? Obviously, we've just had Sophie Jackson out in Denmark with her team in the World Ladies. I think that's the first time Sophie will play in the the World Ladies. And 2 Dumfries curlers heading out to Canada tomorrow morning. Grant Hardy going out in Bruce Mowatt's rink, and Ross White going out as their 5th player. So best of luck to Bruce and his team out in Canada. I think it starts next Saturday.
Yeah, it'd be good for them.
Current European champions. So Ross must have did something right when he was at the European Championships. He's been asked back.
I think they're going for a hit and roll off the Schoell here.
I think they're going to try and take the back yellow out here, I think, as well. Oh, he's unlucky.
Very unlucky
not to stick that. Just needed to swing another fraction. That would be a really nice shot. Quite a lot of pressure on here just by nudging this blue back. The light to come off the left hand side, but obviously that takes it into the path of the yellows, so
even just a freeze on top of the blue.
I was just thinking that, Kenny, because they've not got last stone. Freeze on top of the blue almost guarantees, at least the worst case scenario, it's a force. It's one of these situations would be quite easy to get overly aggressive. You can play it on the left hand side. No ideal if you run off it, but at least you've got another yellow counting, so just make sure you don't hit the guard here. That was a confident call. Shot.
I think we were calling it coming in the other hand there.
No, I thought they were coming down the left, to be fair.
I thought they might have wanted to come in the other way so that the blue wasn't going into the yellows.
Depends which camera we're looking at, because one camera is left and one camera is right, isn't it? So that's our get out of jail free card there, Kenny.
Thanks, David.
We're always right. Run back here. Didn't look entirely convincing looks on their faces there as they came past the camera.
They've got to watch what they're doing here, because the two blues are quite vulnerable at the back of the house. They do have last stone, so I suppose opening up the front is
opening up the forefoot, isn't it?
If this doesn't just quite work, it's at least opening up for the last stone. On and off, so it must be.
It's close. It's pretty unlucky there.
Just a fraction out.
Yeah, we can see the release on the camera. Maybe just squared it out a fraction. They could well have been playing for the release, though. To be fair, if that's how they do it. So the Hungarians will be sticking up a guard, I would think. Got to watch this one doesn't overswing on them. Send 2 against here. We're looking at a run through the port here, Kenny.
Actually not a bad yellow card, David.
No, it's pretty good. It's maybe just the Estonians are looking at playing a run through that port to nick the yellow and try and nick both yellows. That's what they were looking at.
I think that's what we might be getting. Just the way she's lined up in the hack, I think she's coming that side.
Yeah, I think it's doable, but if you miss, you're at least 3 down.
The time you play your next stone.
Again, don't hit the guard. Pass the guard. It's close. It's really close. Ah, what a stone! Really unlucky. So that was for a 3 actually, was it? I think there was 2 blues frozen together there.
Not just too sure on that one. There was 2 blues at the back of the house, but I think the yellow maybe going to the other side held on and maybe got second shot.
So. Yeah. Good shot though.
I'll call one to the Estonians.
I'll just play contrarian and say 2, but we'll wait and see what they.
Confidently say the Estonians score.
I'll change camera so everybody can see it. It's the players' fault now. They need to put the score up. Here we go.
Not going to have to wait long anyway.
Here we go. 10 seconds for it to update between iPad. Maximum of 10 seconds between iPad and TV. We've got a 0. It's a 2.
My apologies, David.
That was a really good stone there.
Just have to wait a few seconds for the graphics. Curling Zone must be getting a lot of results fired at it just now. It's a little bit slow.
So that's the game we're featuring here at Dumfries tonight. Tied up now at 3-all after 4 ends. So all to play for in the second half of the game.
This is where I find the dynamics of this game fascinating. So you've just made a massive takeout to the left of 2. Now the opposition thought they had an end up, and your next stone is to play a dead weight draw 20 seconds later to control the next end. And now we've got the Hungarians in the hack, having just lost that, needing to play a good stone to avoid losing control.
So that's not a bad shot played there.
No, not at all.
Just the momentum can change from shot to shot very quickly.
I think that's what makes it good to watch. Quite honestly, it's 2 or 3 up is not a safe scoreline.
So I wonder if they'll see either. I've got to say either the blue pushed up or the yellow pushed up.
I think the blue's in quite a good position. It might be push the yellows up.
I like pushing the yellow. It might be slightly defensive, but I think that's the shot, isn't it? Get it back tee. Obviously can't take out yet. You can only push it back tee.
Either pushing the yellow back. Quite a lot of rotation in the stone. this stone must remain in play. Am I right in saying that?
I think you're right, John, on that. Might just be over swinging because it looked a wee touch heavy. I tell you what, if that stays in play, oh, it's close. Very honest game curling, isn't it? No need for an umpire to come in. Just get the stones back to where they were. Carry on very quickly.
And we're not worried about whether it's a centimetre this way or that way, as long as it looks okay.
I think it actually just went out with a bit of centimetres.
I just think I would have maybe put that back in a wee fraction.
I think it's actually possibly sticking out a wee bit further as it was.
Tell you what, see if that had 2 or 3 inches less weight on it. Absolute belter of a shot.
Check round behind.
Tick it into the dead zone behind the house. Absolutely perfect.
So what are they now going to do? Push their own yellow in, or check on the blue?
Well, they've got last stone. So I think you've got to start looking about where your last stone's getting played. So
they're playing along onto the yellow.
They're playing onto the yellow, yeah. I think I wouldn't necessarily want to push it too far because you're just leaving a catching stone for the blue to come into.
Really, you want to just lie even on your own.
Yeah, I
and
think
leave a hole between the 2 yellows that we can see in the house.
Frozen on the nose would be quite nice. I don't think you necessarily want to go too much further than nose. That's fine because if you go to take them out, your blue's exiting sideways. So.
And you can also exit it through the hole as well.
The only problem is you've checked both of them yellows now, so if the Estonians can push the blue across to the left hand side of the 4 foot as we look at it, it's going to be really tough to get it out of there.
And one shot anyway. Just actually moving the yellow back, the blue onto the back yellow now.
There might be enough space to hit the back one. It's the camera's a little bit deceptive on depth, so
I think that the way they've been hitting, they could actually, if that blue is sitting in the button, they could hit that left hand yellow as we see it and take the blue out. An angled raise.
Well, they can where the blue is just now. It's just if the blue gets tipped in behind the yellows, then it's going to be tough. It's fairly tough as it is, to be fair, for us mere mortals. That's a nice line.
Possibly the easiest shot now is actually the drive back in the blue double.
Aye.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how far back that blue has actually gone. I think there's a fair bit of space actually, isn't there? Almost a kind of betwixt and between shot. I think if it goes but further back to the yellow, it's pretty good.
Another foot there would have been.
Another foot. There you go. There's plenty of space to get that out through. So I think you're right. Straight back.
Maybe slightly on the right hand side just to, and you're going to lie yourself.
It's pretty close. I think it's jamming, no? It is. So an opportunity missed there.
I think a wee nudge back on the blue now to the yellows. The safe shot.
Well, the saver's trying to decide who shot is anyway, so. Stones away. I suspect they'll be looking to get right in here. As you say, Kenny, just a wee tap, but it's high at the moment.
I don't know if you're sweeping for line or
sweeping for line, I think. Trying to get that to pull across. Again, a wee nudge back to the back yellow's fine. Slash double.
With your own bat yellow now.
It's not a disaster, is it? Think you could ever do it skinny? Don't think you can squeeze by the guard, can you? Have to play it down weight. It's not there.
Same stone as you just played.
It is.
Stone
right.
just about directly in the same position.
It is. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
It's a quarters of the stone.
Again, even as long as one blue goes here, you're keeping the pressure on. Particularly if you could pick one to go, though, it's the one that's currently residing in the 4 foot.
Anywhere at that brush side, and the quarters, they're both going.
Oh, it's close. Just the yellow.
It's like the Estonians just put a blue right round top of their own blue.
If you leave a double, though, you leave a double for a 4, so.
I put another guard on. Stop and draw.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. I don't think that raise on the yellow is there. On the left hand side yellow, I don't think you can see enough of it. If they're going in, this needs to finish. Looks really good, doesn't it?
Let's finish it now.
Just got a neck. But I think it's done enough, though.
I'm quite amazed by the sweeping ability of all the colours. They really are.
So many shots are made by the sweeping
Oh,
now.
it's unbelievable just how far they take these shots and that.
WCF rules apply for sweeping this weekend, I think. So, we've not got any random brushes of kicking about.
No, I mean,
Or shouldn't have. Take your medicine and give away a 1 here. Or
I might think that it's actually doable to have a, say, a hack weight on there.
I'm just wondering about the yellow. Do you not think you could hit the outside yellow? Just a hack weight again, though.
Aye, well, it's always been set.
That's the gamble for the shot, though, isn't it?
It's always been set.
I think that's the only shot you've got, David, because I don't think the Blues are going.
It's the only shot for a 1, but I think there's a hack weight shot right on the other side just to lose a 1.
I suppose the game's tied up, so losing 1's not a disaster, but even losing 2's not a disaster, but
You might force the other team's got to start thinking about using a power play because they may not get other opportunities.
There's another blue stone. Come.
this is the last stone.
It's his last stone, I think. Yeah.
All right.
He's
not
close.
bad. It's
He's
not bad.
close. Oh, he's unlucky. Almost got too much of that.
Still a good shot. With his last stone to reduce it down to 1.
Again, that 2 in the 4th end just swings the game around. Back it up with a steal. So into the sixth end, 4-3 to the Estonian team. Playing Blue Stones.
Elsewhere, I think most of the games are not one-sided, but a little bit more in it as the game we are showing tonight, David.
Yeah, there's a few more shots. I think in mixed doubles terms, you're still all pretty close, though.
Yeah,
nobody's over the line yet. Got a couple of scores of fives, but as I say, it can so quickly change.
Here we are, sixth end. Just early days yet in this end. Bit of drawing going on at the moment before we start the clearing up, possible.
It's just one big gamble, this game, isn't it? Slightly different this time, though. The stones aren't quite as overlapped as the previous ends have been. Give you the view from the other side of the house. Yeah, that yellow back into the blues looks quite nice from here. I'd rather be sitting up here talking about it than going down there and playing it right enough, but it's definitely there.
You actually come round, even if you just come round to the face of the blue at the moment, just moving the blues about, leave the yellow where it is, because the yellow's got no way out.
You could do, but you've got last stone here. Yellows have got last stone. There's two blues in there. I'd be looking to move them, at least get one of them out here, puts a bit of pressure on. Just get them spread out from that 4 foot. couple of the games past the halfway point now. You see the scores ticking through on the bottom of your screen. Interestingly, the two top seeds currently down.
Who were the actual second seeds?
First seeds were Jane Stirling and Fraser Kingan. Second seeds were Vicky Wright and Craig Waddle. This looks really good, really good. As you say, John, just maybe a little touch inside.
I think she was maybe tighter than what she anticipated it to be.
But I still like that as a shot, though. I mean, that blue is fairly vulnerable now. I know the Estonians have got next shot, but they're going to have to be careful.
Well, not only that, if they just plank one on top of it, the double's on, because the guard's not just catching the whole left-hand side of it as we look at it.
No, and yellow's sitting second, third, fourth and fifth, so that's why I quite like moving that blue to the back 12.
Just a wee tickle on the blue stone and flick over onto the yellow.
Yeah, possibly, but if I'll just change cameras across, but I think you can get it both sides. There's a yellow rays on the other side, so I think blues could be in a bit of trouble here. It's not like a commentator stating the obvious, is there? Certainly need a second blue in here.
Just need a wee bit more weight on it, really. A wee bit more separation.
I think the lack of separations could probably be seen as a good thing as well, though. I think if they separate much further, it's well, obviously the yellow would be sitting second shot, so sitting two blues, not easy to get rid of them. Looking at pushing yellow back.
Front yellow.
That's what they're looking at. There's every chance that blue nearest to the jam in the back one, the back yellow then.
I think so. I think it'll probably head the left hand side. It could even take a double on the back yellows. I think it will push that way. Maybe too thin. Oh no, played it well. Once more, that blue looks a little lonely.
Yellow line 2.
Can follow this one in though. I might be tempted to move the yellow, because I think they can move the yellow back to back 8 foot way.
And get a bit of split between the blues then.
Yeah, or even just flop in fractionally to the left as we look at it.
I don't think the float could be much more weight here as full draw.
I say flop in fractionally, actually flopping right to the centre line.
Can you get to the inside?
Tough.
What you've got to watch is you don't hit half of the stone and take your blue.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you're in real trouble.
The worst case scenario never seems to occur, or never crosses the mind anyway.
I know they've got the yellow that they can slash across onto the blue, but the safest shot here might be to draw one to the front of the 4 foot to lie second shot or even shot.
I think they're looking at it now, they just freeze that yellow. Quite like that as a call, because I think you could play to freeze the inside of that. I think you could just about get shot from that. It'd be tough, but I think it would be possible.
Quite interesting that the players spend quite bit of time. The shot and that, and just confirming what they're happy with.
It doesn't make for the most exciting webcast with the limited cameras we've got, but they are. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just discussing it. But here it comes now. Sweeping this one hard for line. Careful they don't overcook this. The last thing you want to do is touch the yellow and run through it.
That was close.
Yeah, too much weight on that. I think the tap back's there for a 3.
Maybe just as well. I had the weight there because if I hadn't had the weight, I think it would have been it was going by the yellow, hitting the yellow at the front of the forefoot.
Your disaster there was hitting the yellow and running out the rings to the left hand side. That could have been quite a painful end.
So basically, you just need to follow that stone.
Play the same thing. Yep, exactly that. Which, to be fair, when you look at the camera, it doesn't look the easiest shot in the world.
So just sliding out, release the stone. Checking the line as she sweeps it.
This looks nice. This looks really nice. That's a great shot. 3. It's another excellent shot.
What a hard sweep.
Yeah, exactly.
Power sweep.
It just comes back to what we're saying. The shots that are they're made by the player playing them, but they're helped to a significant level by the sweeping.
I think it's a great team effort. Power play.
Yeah, go and explain to the viewing audience, John, what a power play is.
Once each game, each team has the opportunity of having the power play. They can only do it when they've got the hammer. What it means is that you move the play stones from the central line to either the left or right hand side. Again, same distance from the centre. 2 stones are in a direct line with each other, and really what it does is it's moving it away from the centre, and hopefully what you're going to be able to do is have the centre so that you can regain a big end. The counter to this is a tick shot, so you want to tick that away, or actually tick it into the ring if possible, so you actually move your own yellow one into the centre.
Go on, Kenny, you're the umpire here. What did that? Go and talk us through what you just said off microphone.
I think that yellow come back down off the hill.
I think you're right. I think if that barrier wasn't there, that was out, wasn't it?
It definitely took a turn
It
back
took a
towards
turn,
the centre of the ice.
So really what they wanted to do was just catch that stone with a wee bit more weight and put the yellow into the house and take the advantage of the power play away from the opposition.
To be fair, John, I think they did option 1 of making sure that blue's opened up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've seen a few times the team doing that is they've made that tick, but that the stone they're ticking ends up on the centre line, which sometimes isn't the handiest place for it later in the end.
So they're just looking to just line this blue and maybe just tap it back a wee bit.
I think they're looking at a tick, John, because they can't hit this, can they? That's pretty good. I think they're just looking to mix the angles up there, to be honest, so it's a one hit,
Right,
a one stone double, but you have to admit that's a new one on me.
What's that?
The tactics of that, that's
On the power play.
yeah, that's
I think we're actually going to see a guard here. Or maybe just hit the 12 foot to stop the hit.
yeah, possibly. I mean, they've got last stone though, so you don't want to completely. They might actually be coming round this, Kenny. I don't think they're coming to the centre line. I think they're going right round everything, right round the yellow guard and sort of sit top 12, half check. And that may be what happened with the last. So I think there's just a tiny little bit straighter out there.
Still drawn.
It's still drawn, but it's just maybe a fraction straighter. I just want this to swing.
It's not bad, man.
How hard can you throw it? There is a gap there. There's a gap there, though. There is a gap. I think all three go.
We'll find out shortly.
Who's buying the bacon rolls tomorrow morning? Is that the
Kenny. Took out the middle one.
Yeah, neither of us called that one. Took the winger out with it as well.
So power play is working at the moment for them.
Yeah, I think they'll just be looking to follow this down again, I would guess. Put it in the same place.
Put one at the other side of the house.
It's funny, Kenny, I was just wondering about that as well. That's
You traditionalist, you.
That's your option. Put it in the 8 foot on the far side so you can't get the double on it.
So I don't think you can get a double on the two that are lying there at the moment. Be a hard double. You need to get as much of the front blue as you can see.
Doesn't matter what we think, they've made up their mind and they're going for it.
Yeah, and this one's just looking a wee touch high again, but it will finish. Here it comes now. And just that half stone. It's not
That's
perfect. Absolutely perfect. Call the bluff, come right round everything. The only problem with the blue stones is none are particularly usable.
Unless they're really close. Sit quite close to it, I would think.
Yeah, so, but I dare say the Hungarians have got one chance to come round this now. But even then, I think there's probably a swing off the centre line, isn't there? At hack weight, so. Swinging hard now. If that's got the weight, that's going to be really, really nice. He's in for a shot.
Oh, maybe second shot.
I haven't said they're not accessible. I'm pretty sure you could use that front blue.
Only option they have, David, because if they try to take the yellow, I think the yellow is going straight to the back blue.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree.
inviting. So
It's more inviting hitting the yellow as hitting the last blue played.
Cassetti, I think that looks inviting.
So, yellow definitely jams, Kenny. I think you called that. Both of you got your 8-foot bluestone though, so
The other side.
you're both sitting with smiles on your faces now.
What do you do now if you're yellow?
Hit and stick.
Hit and stick on the blue on the right hand side.
Hit and stick and lie too.
Problem is you've got to stick because that yellow is very vulnerable with the same weight round that hand again.
Yeah, but you were looking like losing a 3 a minute or two ago, so.
Still lose a 3.
You've got to think.
Oh, you
positive.
could. You've got to think positive though. Hit and stick on this blue,
Yeah.
and you've escaped the end with probably a force.
He actually could even rolling in a foot.
Don't think they leave a crosshouse double. There will be an angle on it if they hit and stick, to be fair.
Big shot
The
to play.
rocket weight.
It's a big shot to play when you're line 2 against. You're
Yeah,
2 down.
Maybe, yeah.
What do the Estonians do here if just looking at the pictures here, if the Hungarians draw another shot here? Ignore the stone in the
That looks like we've got the.
and lie 2 on the other side.
So the thing of just drawing on top of that yellow.
Or lie in the front of the 8 foot if the quarter's hidden.
As long as they're hidden, it's a pretty valid shot, isn't it?
I think they must be a wee bit worried that they're not going to stick it in the far side.
Or roll across and leave a double.
Because if you lie 2, how do you get that yellow out of there? Even if you guard the yellow, how do you get the yellow out?
No, well, that's a valid point. But you can have a run at a guard. You can have a run at the guard relatively risk-free. You lose a 1, you lose a 1. Nice line. Really nice line. Gotta get in for second though. I think they have. Well swept. That's a fair shot.
There's a chance to hit the back blue now. Square on to get the double. You need to be really.
I see what you mean. I kind of yeah. I think they've just taken one look at that and gone no. I see what you're saying. Okay, kind of underside of the yellow.
This last stone.
Yes, I think it is.
Draw the shot then.
I don't. Yeah.
Go down the last one down.
Yeah, you don't want to be going 4 down anyway.
No.
Here's the blue into the 4 foot. Well played. And as you say, Kenny, 1 down the last. You expect the Hungarians to throw the power play?
Yes.
I think so.
Leave the centre.
Keep the centre open.
Leave the centre up.
Your problem is though, the Estonians are going to throw a centre guard, and you can't hit it for 2 stones.
Just ignore everything.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Interested to see how they play this. Power play it is. I think if you're Estonian, you throw a centre guard here, do you not?
They've all got their own different.
Ultimately, you're looking to steal the end.
No, they won't.
The guard, I don't think, because that looked to be going
Round it first.
He went up the centre of the ice.
I think we'll see the tick shot here. Just throw it in the centre. Quite important this one doesn't slide too far back though.
I was going to say, if it goes behind T,
yeah, not the best 2 opening shots to this end.
possibly the 2 worst opening shots we've seen in the whole game.
I think it's about the only 2 loose opening shots, so if you're Hungarian it's not a disaster. You've got the whole of the 8 foot at the moment, so I'm a little bit surprised the Estonians don't throw guard with their first. These guys are a lot more experienced than I am, but I think going to steal an end you need the guard surely.
There's a couple you see playing in regularly on the tour mixed doubles.
Yeah, so they will very much have their reasons.
This looks a better shot.
That is better, but you can start moving these blues now. You can play the hit the roll to the centre. There you go, just marking it out for us. So be careful. Hit the guard, it's not a disaster. Got the first semi-finalist. Can you see from there, Kenny?
What game are you? The game in Mike D.
Hungarians sitting pretty nicely now. And we've also got our first semi-finalists. Ramsfeld, Mafajan, winning fairly comfortably in the end, I think. 8-3 after 7 ends.
Is that a final, David? After
that is a final, yep. Hence they're through at the semi-final, yep. You weren't listening there, were you?
No, I was listening, but I wonder whether they played an 8th end because they finished at this end.
I think they just pushed the stones down, Kenny. I think they just pushed the stones, yep.
Run out of stones.
Play that one away now.
So get rid of this blue and the game is all but over, I would say. Blues playing the hit.
I think we've got a result across on the far side now as well.
You see this stone through, Kenny, because I think we're playing a double to lie behind the corner. He's played it really well. So fighting away to the end. You say that was the result, sorry, Kenny? Is that on sheet B, I think?
The Fowlers will be through.
Yeah,
Don't know what the final score is. They were 7-3 up playing the last end.
Yeah, they were. So
and they're pushing stones up, so I think it'll be a run out of stones.
We'll call that an X, shall we? Okay, fine. So Fowl and Fowler through. So that's the first semi-final with Fowler and Fowler against Ramswell and Mafadjian.
That's the way that.
I think so. Nicks that blue out nicely, runs away. You've got to freeze that now, don't you? You've got to freeze it and hope for a miss. Good news is once this finishes, I think we've got another game to go to on sheet E.
Possibility.
I think they've only just thrown the first stone, so a wee bit behind this game,
and it's very close as well. 6-5.
I have to admit we've been keeping an eye on that once.
Wee bit of Dumfries.
We can fill you in on that one once we switch, but we'll see the end of this game out first. This looks quite a nice line. Maybe just over swinging. It's in danger of over swinging. And it's just going to slide away. And I think that is it. It is indeed. Handshakes. So the Hungarians through to the semi-final.
And you'll get the winners of the game. It's still going. It's 6-5 to Stirling and Kingan in that game, playing the last end.
And if by magic.
So we're back again tomorrow morning, David?
We're back again at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Bright and breezy. Oh, that's a nice little rub in. So if on this sheet we have James Craig and Faye Henderson both standing in the head there.
Against last year's winners.
Yeah, they're playing the Yellowstones and they're indeed against the reigning champions and indeed top seeds. They came through top from the group sections, best draw shot, so they're ranked number 1, and therefore playing the 8th ranked team. So bottom against top in this game. Faye and James coming through with a 3-2 record, but a better draw shot, so they qualified through as per the rules.
As you said, David, we've been keeping quite a close eye on this game as it's been progressing, and actually Henderson and Craig were 5-0 up after 4 ends.
Yeah, so they stole the 2, stole the 1, stole the 1, stole the 1 in the first 4 ends.
Stirling and Kingan have hit back very strongly, taking 3 2s in the 5th, 6th and 7th ends, so it's all to play for down the last end.
Yeah, some really nice last shots that we've seen in the background, and they're just experience maybe beginning to tell now. But Faye and James do have last stone in this end.
I think quite interestingly here, I think... No, I'm not. I'm going to go back to what I was thinking. I thought Fraser and Jane had changed their playing positions for this end. It looks very much like Fraser's playing the middle 3 stones.
Yeah, that's normally how they play. Jane plays first and last. I don't know if they swap around at all, to be honest.
I actually just thought the previous stone Jane had played it.
Right,
the
okay.
first stone.
Winner of this plays the winner of our feature match, as we say. Who's your money on then, guys? Don't both rush at once now to give an opinion. We're not live or anything, so don't worry about it.
We're quite honest. They give put a bet on this. It's in each way, isn't it?
The answer to that is I'm not a betting man.
It's oh no, I wouldn't say that I'm not a betting man. I mean, if you put money in the lottery, you're a betting man.
It's a nice shot from Fraser there. It's going to make just cutting the scoring area down all the time.
And if you turn around and say that when one pair and then they lose it, it's the commentator's curse, isn't it? So
I would never worry about that.
all right, well,
I think James and Faye will have to play on that blue. Because if they don't play on the blue, it's going to be
tough to get rid of it in the next
They're going
shot.
to have to move it now, I think.
who's got the hammer?
Faye and James have got
Faye.
hammer.
Faye and James have got hammer. The hammer at the bottom of your screen is just who started with it. I've got to get a 2 out of this, remember, to win the game.
I'll be quite happy to take a 1. Play the next round.
I see what you mean, rather than going down an extra end.
Yeah.
No, I think if they can take a 1, they'll take it. It's
Well, you'd
not.
sooner take a 1 than lose and shake hands anyway.
Well, the thing is it's with mixed doubles is that even if you don't have the hammer, you've still got the chance of winning the end. Like,
There's no power plays in the extra end, is there?
I don't think so. Is James fancying double off that front yellow?
That's what they've been looking at. They've been looking at coming in off
both
this
blues.
yellow. I'll tell you what, if he makes this,
good try, though.
it's better. It's definitely better, but he's still going to have the problem with 2 blues in the 4-foot. It's pretty close to that, though.
Fraser puts
You
one
know,
right.
just take the back 2 yellows.
No, because then you're
There's
leaving
4 stones to come, though, I think.
You know,
Sorry,
just
3 stones.
If you put one
take
right,
them.
if you put one right on top of the blue, what have yellow's got
But he's
left?
got front blue. Though.
Okay, let's take that back a bit. If we take both yellows out, you're going to leave a pocket for yellow to come right down on top of. And,
To
then
lie on
you're,
the button.
and you're almost guaranteed down an extra at that point. If you go top 4 here, they've still got to move it, and you've got a bit of insurance policy, so and you go aggressive and pile the pressure on the junior pair. Slightly less experience at this level. In mixed doubles anyway. James obviously went to the World Juniors with Ross White.
I think somebody said that 3 of Ross's teamers are playing this weekend here. Two.
Ross has been about. Ross is here.
Away packing his bags at the moment. In fact, he could be either in Glasgow or Edinburgh waiting to fly out tomorrow morning.
He was actually
as long as they're not watching this.
His coach for trying to remember who called him out onto the ice.
Has he been down on the ice? Official coaching capacity.
That's right. I was quite impressed by him, by the way, when I heard him.
This is tough now, isn't it?
So if they just draw up to the Blues, the Blues are just going to guard it up.
You can see a piece of anything. They're obviously looking at taking the guards off for their last stone. The problem is
they don't make this.
I'm not sure they've got a last stone if they don't start moving that blue.
You know, just come in full T weight, draw at the top of the face of the blue. I know you're not lying short, but at least you're giving yourself an opportunity.
I mean, if you nail this, you could skittle everything. Long guard across the face of the blue in the 12 foot and run it back into the shooters. I think there is space for that blue to squeeze out, but
as you said, David, if they don't make this,
they're going to have another. They're going to have another blue welded on in the 4 foot. And that might be the point that they take the 2 yellows out.
Because both blues would go if they got an opportunity to hit them.
It's inside this, I think. It's already tough to get shot if you're yellow.
Is that no giving them the opportunity of getting on the button there? If they're lying them 2 there.
I don't think the blue's going to come far enough back to let them in, because there's a small gap between them, but
you can't hit it on the left hand side.
It's in front of the T line. The last thing he wants to do here is to leave the blue anywhere near their own blue with an angle.
Certainly, you don't want to spring the blue from the back yellow either.
I think you put a guard on and say, there must be 2 stones each to come then.
Yeah, there must be.
Or Fraser just going out to have a look.
It looks like he's away to play, doesn't it? I think if this is Jane's last one, you surely take the yellow off the back.
Interesting. I don't think yellow have got a shot.
Not at the moment.
Unless you make a mistake here. Have to leave. But what they've got to watch is they don't get this in the nose, and it allows them to bounce back into the split.
I think a disaster here is unlocking that back blue and yellow. That's the savour at the moment, isn't it?
Can you see any of that front blue? Clear out the hole.
I can see, if this is Fraser's shot, I can see why they're not taking that back yellow, because if James raises the blue, it's a catcher for the double. So
this must be Jane's last shot then, I think.
Yeah, she's certainly in the hack.
Jane is actually in the hack. This is the last blue stone. I think if you stick a guard on get your one shot out from there.
Yeah, anywhere down that centre line's good here, isn't it?
I think she's going at the back yellows.
Shouting guard. Might just get a wee corner check now. It's just sat down. A wee corner check would have really. I don't think there's a whole lot there. So. Helicopter.
She actually might see a shot.
It's the only shot there is a straight raise on that blue, but.
Take it to. Tell you what, she deserves to win the game if she pulls this off. But I think she's only going to get one.
I don't know. She gets it.
We're both looking at you, John. Has it been a long day?
I can see where you're coming from, John. Actually, it could actually split it out, but
She catches
I'll tell
the
you what.
left-hand side of that centre.
Yeah, I think it jams the yellow.
I would have thought. I don't think Bruce Mout would even fancy play this shot to win the World Championships.
Straight back with that front blue. Catches the left-hand side of the centre one there.
She can definitely play them hard enough. If she gets a 2 out of this, she deserves to win the game. That's all I'm saying.
I would say so. Well, stones away. They're on off. That's always a. Looks a touch high. Yeah, it is. Finished with 2 blue. So Fraser Kingan and Jane Stirling through to the semi-final, where they will play the Hungarian ring.
Okay. Good night from me.
John's away.
Well, I've got ice to make.
Thank you very much, Kenny, for your co-commentary tonight.
Thanks,
and we
David.
are back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.